Hey folks, TechTucker here. In today's video, we are going to go over my pickups and the overview of the Glasgow gaming market in 2024. So in terms of this one, it was a bit more of a meh event for me, but we'll go over that a tad later in the video as to why that happened. Largely due to external factors, but to be honest, I think the venue could have been bigger and it was very busy from the get-go. But anyways, let's take a quick look at the event itself and what I got thereafter. So without further ado, let's get to it. Hey folks, welcome back to another video, and this is the 2024 Glasgow gaming market. Figured I'd film some entry footage to try and get like a nice establishing shot, however that failed because of the guy in front of me. Anyways, we're having a look at the first stall here, and they have some PlayStation 1 games, got some pins, thought that Rocket Knight one was cool, and a Pikachu pin which I actually do believe I have. But yeah, they've got some PlayStation 2 games here as well, and a handful like Game Boy, PSP and such, as well as a good selection of Game Boy games. Game Boy consoles rather, but I thought that Tiger Pokemon camera was cool. Lots of Pokemon cartridges here, which by the end of the day, the only one that was left was that Japanese Pokemon Silver, which is crazy. Think how much money they made off of that, seeing the prices. Considering I think some of them are a little overpriced as well. And you can tell Sophie M loved her Pokemon Pinball. But yeah, they had a sealed Pikmin 2, some boxed N64 games as well. And then, I think this is another stall actually that had some like controllers and more games and such. Again, with the Mega Drive selection and whatnot, it's very dry. And that's a recurring thing around this gaming market as well. Seems they're really hot these days and people just can't keep a hold of them. But over to this stall over here, the gentleman that had all these games had them a little overpriced. I mean, £40 for Bomberman to Oof, that's a bitter pill to swallow. I'm sure that one's like 25 to 30 tops. And then Terminator 2 again, £24. I can easily go and buy that for like 15. So again, just a bit overpriced. And with Twin Hawk here, I did hold on to that kind of a price, so I asked the gentleman what the price was. £50, little too high for that one as well. This was the first stall I saw with like strategy guides. And I pointed at the Worms 2 one because I know my brother really likes that game, and he did end up buying that one. But yeah, with these PlayStation 1 titles and whatnot as well, I did see the Die Hard trilogy, which is one I want. Cheap, but I don't want any of those like horrible EA special labels or whatnot. I do want it in just the original release label. But yeah, in terms of this stall, they did have some nice box games, some, nicer Mega Drive titles in the back there. But again, nothing I'm really after there. And with the box games, I do want them, but not something I was really looking for today. I wanted new additions to the collection as opposed to getting boxed copies of games I already own. This stall here had a good selection of boxed N64 and SNES in particular. Again, boxed SNES isn't something I personally collect for. But this stall here had a cool RoboCop and a Terminator figure. This guy actually recognized me when I walked up. He was just like, Mr. Tucker, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I've never been recognized before, so I thought that was really cool and a highlight in my day for sure. But nothing he had I really wanted, to be fair. I wanted to try and buy some, but there wasn't anything I needed. Yeah, some plushies here, and I saw this play-by-play Greymon, which I did indeed buy for my brother because it was one of those where you don't see that very often. But yeah, some more boxed Mega Drive titles, but again, a lot of the ones I would have wanted, I already own, and the other ones that I would have potentially considered, like Decap Attack and that, were, again, a little overpriced. Here, there are some 360 and Wii titles in that. With the 360 stuff, though, I'm pretty much got everything I want, but it is always nice to see Doorway to Darkness have a presence. I really do like their store, and I have bought from them online, and they're really good in my opinion, so I highly recommend them. But yeah, seeing some boxed consoles here again. I don't really collect boxed consoles because it's A, expensive, and B, very spacious. They take up a lot of room, and it's just real estate I do not have at this point in time. But here's some more boxed games, some more higher end stuff in the back there. Again, all pretty cool stuff, but nothing I really wanted. So, just before we do leave, I do see this CEX store, which is the Sauchiehall Hall Street one that has recently moved. So, I've not been to this one yet, actually, so I figured I'd take a quick tour with you guys, of course. Really, Rose, always at all these stores. I think it's because there was like a case or something that were found in somewhere, I don't know. But, yeah, some box Mega Drive titles. Again, all the ones I would want, I already own, so oh well. I've not bought any in this day. But yeah, some more boxed like Game Boy games and NES and such. And then some PlayStation again. There's not a whole lot here that, it's quite a small selection. It is a small store, but I think they've used the space well here, and that Call of Duty Black Ops Collector's Edition is very cool. But yeah, just taking a look at 360, you know me, I've always got to look in this section. It's getting very difficult to find games I actually want to add to the collection that isn't just shelf filler. I did see this Dead or Alive 5, but I think there is a complete edition of that I would much prefer to pick up later down the line. But there is always a good selection of these games, so if you are a newer collector, highly recommend like going to CX and picking up a bunch of titles, because it's probably your best prices you're going to get for Xbox 360. Just always check condition, because yeah, the condition can vary vastly. And just took a quick video. That is a very nice Castlevania cartridge, and just a quick overview of Switch here. But just in a moment, we'll go back to the game room for pickups. Thanks for watching so far. Okay then folks, so hope you enjoyed the quick overview and the tour of the Sauchiehall Hall CEX store that has recently moved. In terms of that CEX store, I didn't pick up anything, but I did find something in my local CEX today, so stay tuned for that and I'll show you what that is in a moment. But first pickup from the gaming market was an instruction manual for Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So the reason I picked this up is last year at Christmas I got the game on the SNES, and my mum bought me an unboxed copy, but I got the box for it, probably because yeah, this. You know what CEX are like, sometimes they'll sell things as unboxed due to the poor condition. And yeah, when I was at, looking around and such, this was the... I thought I saw it, but then I looked through the manuals, I didn't see it, and I went back around and saw it the second time. So I did see it, my eyes didn't trick me. So now I have a complete, or close to complete, well, I wouldn't say complete, it's missing. I don't know if it came with like that black manual thing that comes with a lot of SNES games, but I now have a manual which matches condition box-wise. So yeah, I'm quite happy to add that one to the collection. I've actually looked on eBay a couple times for this manual. I paid a whopping £3 for that. So yeah, now I have a copy of this box with manual. I'm sure this back of the box is a bit tatty, I guess. Probably a tape or something on it to keep it sealed at one point in time. But it's still got the black Nintendo sticker on it, which is kind of cool. The box shape's not too bad, for all things considered, so I've gotten a box copy for very cheap. Okay doke, so I have two cartridge-based games that are for home consoles. I do have a couple of handheld ones which I'll show shortly as well. This one is RoboCop. So with throughout the last year or so, I've been collecting a bit, RoboCop. Reason for that is because I really enjoyed Rogue City, rewatched the film, I was like, I want the games in my collection, so I got Rogue City, I beat that, I even platinumed it, really fun game, highly recommend it if you've not played it yet. I then got RoboCop 3 on the Mega Drive earlier in the year for a really good price off of a commenter on the videos, which was really cool. They sold me it for the boxed without manual price at CX, so it was like £65 for a very clean copy. I have RoboCop vs Terminator, and then I now have RoboCop on the NES. I still need RoboCop 2 on the NES, but yeah. I did see one that was £20 there. I thought that was a little overpriced. Turns out that's roughly what it is on eBay, so probably should have bought it. But anyways, this was only £10, which is a really good price. I think it's the lowest I'm going to find it. It does have a bit of, marker there. It's not really worth removing, to be honest. But the label itself is in pretty nice condition. So very happy to add a copy of RoboCop on the NES into my collection. I saw one last year, but my brother actually bought it. I was like, I want it, but I'll put it back because I want Godzilla more. And yeah, since then I was like, I really want a copy of RoboCop. And then the next game here is one I've been looking for some time. It cost me £15. And that is Hydro Thunder on the N64. So I think this was ported to Xbox 360 through like the arcade line of games. I think I do have that in the digital library. I think it was a Game with Gold at one point in time. But this is one that, again, I've been looking on eBay for a good while, periodically. I sometimes forget to look for it, and then I saw it there. 15's a really good price. I think this one has went up a bit. I don't know how much it goes for in CEX or whatnot. I don't really go to CEX at the minute. But very happy to add Hydro Thunder to collection. Again, this is one that I'd maybe get in like the Dreamcast or something as well, because it's a really better version of the game. But to have it on the N64, very pleased with this. I have nearly bought it on eBay a few times in poor condition around this price point. So yeah, next we'll cover some Game Boy pickups. Okay, so I was rummaging through some Game Boy games earlier. This was my first pickup of the day, and it was 3 for £10. So 2 Game Boy games and a Game Boy Advance game, which I'm holding forward, which I didn't mean to do. And this is Denki Blocks. This is an obscure GBA game. It's not worth much at all, but it's one that I played a lot in childhood. Cartridge all looks good. It's got like the number imprint on the front sticker label thing. And you can also look up the cartridge and it does say Nintendo. Probably won't see it on the camera, but anyways. So the other two games I got was Robot Wars on the Game Boy Color and Rugrats. What's this? Time Travelers. Rugrats Time Travelers on the Game Boy, and then Robot Wars on the Game Boy Color. I think these are about £3 to £3.50 each in CEX. So to get Denki blocks with it for £10, these are all games I had and played in childhood. And with the Game Boy, it's one of those systems where I've never collected for it much, but I want to own like the games I played as a child. So with the Game Boy Advance, I've got the Sonic Advance games, I've got like the Crash ones, I'm just looking over there if that's where they are. I've got the Pokemon games, and yeah, now I have Denki blocks. So there's still a few like Game Boy Advance games that I need to pick up from childhood, as well as Game Boy games like Conquer Pocket Tales. I think Toy Story is one we played when we were kids. And I got Bomb Jack a bit earlier in the year. So to add all these just for £10 to the collection, you know what, I can't complain about that. And then the last game that I picked up from the gaming market was Balls. This game is terrible. It is awful. The reason I picked this one up is due to the fact that me and my brother played this again earlier in the year. He's got a copy. We do a gamer night each Thursday. This is in very nice condition and complete, because a lot of the ones you do see on eBay often have like a really bad label that's peeling off. And it's even got the Accolade like booklet inside as well. I only paid £10 for this. It's the handlebar things that hold in the manual are broken, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, Balls is an absolutely awful fighting game, but it's one that I've got some memories that's, you know, attached. I've got a little bit of attachment to Balls. Jeez, that sounds wrong out of context, but yeah, very happy to add Balls to the collection. It's just Balls, you know, saying that's pretty funny. Very immature, I guess, but who gives a shit? But yeah, Balls is a nice one to add to the collection. I've got most of the Mega Drive games I want at this point in time. Like, I've got Felios cartridge only. I want to get that boxed someday. There was a boxed copy with that manual for £60 that I really heavily considered, but I was like, the cartridge that was in the box was in, you know, not poor shape, but worse shape than the one I've got. So I was like, it's not even a condition upgrade, so it's not worth buying a box to try and sell a cartridge for probably £20 top. So I'd essentially be paying £40 just for a box, which is a little insane. But yeah, I want Sunset Riders and Sparkster, and then at that point I'm more or less happy with my Mega Drive collection. But I did get some Pokemon figures. You know me, I do like my vintage Tomy Pokemon figures. Spent £15 on the 3 of these. A fair price, not, you know, nothing groundbreaking. Got myself a nice Rattata here because I really like the Rattata and Raticate line. Picked up the Raticate as well. He has got a broken tail, so I managed to get a wee bit of a discount on him. But this will do because he's always in lots of like the Tomy figures now on eBay, so I'll get a better one at some point. But I just like the way he looks, and he'll be front facing in the cabinet anyway, so it's not like you're going to see too much. And then one thing that I also got is Poliwrath, due to the fact I have a bootleg in my cabinet with my Poliwag and Poliwhirl, so I just felt it was time to get an authentic Poliwrath. He's in pretty good condition as well, so can't complain. So yeah, £15 for some extra Tomy figures from Polkadot. Follow them on Instagram and that. Again, really good resellers, like them, they're cool. But yeah, that's all the games. I didn't get a whole lot, because a lot of the heavy hitters, there just wasn't any. I was looking for Strider 2, I really want a copy of that. I've wanted it for, half a year now maybe. Probably around since April, because I just thought it looked really cool, and that's why I got Slave Zero X on the PlayStation 5. But in terms of like the event itself, it was a solid event, but it did feel like I've seen a lot of, you know, the same kind of stock from last year. Like, I saw copies of games that I considered before, I was like, same, you know, a lot of the same vendors, a lot of similar stock, but I don't know, they're just, in terms of like the heavy hitting stuff and that, it wasn't really there. I don't know if maybe other sellers went and, you know, bought it before the show and stuff like that for their own collections, you know, Per could, you know, doing that sort of job, I guess. But yeah, I mean, there just wasn't a whole lot. It was generally more uncommon, common sort of stuff. So there wasn't a whole lot there for me. But what really kind of affected the event, there are some external factors which I'll mention shortly, but the venue felt like it was a decent sized venue, but I think for the amount of people that were there, I think it was a bit small, because I could barely get a look into any of the you know, the vendor spaces or anything like that. It was like, I don't know, it was just really packed. Even from like the early access tickets or whatnot, the queue was huge, and I got there not super early, maybe like 10:45. or something like that. Me and my brother got a taxi up. But yeah, it was just one of those where it was really, really busy from the get-go, and even when general admission came in, jeez, you could barely walk around the place. So maybe if they're gonna do it again next year, maybe pick a bit of a bigger venue in Glasgow somewhere. I think that would help the event massively, just to give people more breathing space, because you could smell people and it wasn't very pleasant. And you know, conventions and things like that, a lot of people haven't heard of deodorant, but yeah, it's just it's not. I wouldn't say those are minor nitpicks. It did affect the event quite a fair bit for me, which is why I wouldn't go and say, yeah, this was a great event. I just thought, yeah, it was okay. Like, yeah, I don't know if I'm in like the London gaming market or anything like that. The venues are bigger and they get more traders and such, but even like the traders that weren't selling video game related stuff, even though a lot of them were pretty packed, which I think shows that maybe the interest is higher than the space, the capacity that they had for the venue. And the external factors that really affected the event for me is I withdrew £200 from a vending machine, ATM, not a vending machine, an ATM, and I got nothing. But the money disappeared out of my account, so I had very little to spend as well, which definitely impacted some of the purchases I made, because there were some bit more expensive things I'd have liked to pick up, but I just couldn't because I literally didn't have the money, because my £200 went disappeared. But I did get that back yesterday. Not that, I mean, I've kind of just spunked it on Christmas shopping now anyways. Not all of it, but most of it, because that's what, my extra money for the month was going to be. But, but yeah, it was just one of those where that dampened my day, and then my jacket zip broke, so I need a new jacket now. So, and then my brother was like, don't worry, I'll cover you, we've got money, it's fine. Then both his bank cards stopped working, and he was on the phone to the bank for an hour and a half. They said, it'll work. He scanned it, nada. So yeah, none of us had much money to spend. I think between us we maybe spent like £100, £150 or something like. And when events like this, you're going to try and get a lot more of like the uncommon stuff, buy it in person. So when you can't even buy stuff, again, that's no fault of the event holders or anything like that. It's just me and my brother having shit luck that day. But yeah, I had a pretty meh experience at Glasgow Gaming Market, so I do hope that the venue's bigger next year, and maybe they do get some more traders in or whatnot. I think that could really improve things and really make me go wow. And if they can bring in some more heavy hitting stock, I appreciate that. Even if they run shops and that, there will be high interest levels and that sort of stuff, so keeping it in will be difficult. Maybe if they just hold some of this stuff back, charge a bit of a premium, I'd be willing to pay for it, for just finding it in person. That it's one of those where I'm always willing to pay a little above like CEX prices or eBay if it's in like nice condition, for example, in these events, for the reason that you're in person, you're there to have a day out and experience. So I don't think I'm alone in that mindset. And of course, people taxing things slightly higher because they pay for the booth and stuff. But I did also pick up some Pokemon cards, so I'll just show a quick little bit of overlay of that. I don't think too many folk are interested in that. Bought a couple booster packs of the new Japanese set, which is Surging Sparks here in the UK. Pulled the Slacking EX and just bought some singles. But aside from that, yeah, that was pretty much all my pickups there. So again, not an amazing haul or anything, but some nice bits that I've been looking for a wee while, and picking up some of that childhood nostalgia. So if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share and subscribe. Much appreciated if you watched this far, and of course I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks and goodbye. Camera can stop shaking now. Nearly forgot to mention, the pickup at my local CEX was Conquer Live and Reloaded. This is a game I've actually been after for some time. Complete. Can't complain about that. And it was only £15, which I think is a great price for that game. I think this still sells for anywhere between like £17 to £20 with a manual and that. So, don't know why CEX dropped the price. I thought 20, well, last time I saw it in my local store, was pretty fair. But I guess 15, I just couldn't leave at that price. So, yeah, I just thought I should share that with you guys since I mentioned it.